And we're live. Yes, guys, we are live. So, what up? Let's have a conversation. As I get some water. So, guys, today I thought I'd talk a little bit about stool quality. I didn't know how well that would work as a title, so I wrote the gut and also muscle gains on a ketogenic protocol. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. What's up, everybody? What's going on? We already got 3 likes now, so we got 20. Let's get the likes going, guys, so we can bring and draw more attraction to this live stream as I break down this whole keto stuff. All right. So, guys, I thought I would go into kind of an old subject, which is how to gain muscle on a ketogenic diet, because a lot of people are concerned about that. They're concerned about being flat in their muscle, and also more information about the gut that I'm learning. Let's go into it. Like, there's only like one comment. That's really strange. Are you guys there? Where are we from? So I know that the comment section is actually working. Where are we from, guys? Can someone give me a shout out of where they're from? We got almost 40 people. We got 40 now. Where are you guys from so I can see the comments? Let's see here. Comments are not showing up. It's really weird. I know you guys are commenting, but you guys, the comments are not showing up for some reason. All messages are visible. Yeah, it's really weird, guys. I might have to restart this stream because I don't see any comments just from one person, which is very weird. So I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. I think I'm going to restart this because we got 51 people in the house and I don't see any comments. Normally you guys are telling me where you're from and I can't see anything. Yep, looks like I gotta restart this because this is really bizarre. I know it's not a coincidence that I only see one person commenting. It's kind of hard to do a live stream if you can't interact with your crowd. So I'm just tapping the screen just to see if there's any options I'm missing. Okay, guys, so the messages are visible. Okay, guys, I will be right. Oh, here they come. Now they came. That was really weird. I hope I don't have glitches in this Wi-Fi. For some reason, it's been glitchy for a little bit. Okay, it's working. We're here. So you guys just saw them too. Did you guys not see the chat comments? That was really weird. Just seeing them. Hola guapa. Thank you, Peggy. Okay. Yeah, keep commenting, guys, just so I know for sure that it's still working fine. You couldn't see the chat before. Yeah, okay. I couldn't either. You feel blind. You're like, ah! Okay. All right, we're 4 minutes into this finally starting. Sorry, everyone. But there's no sense of doing a stream if you can't communicate with your audience. You missed me? You just got back. All right. Okay, guys. So let's talk about how you gain muscle. So this is old news, nothing new. And then let's talk about the gut. So there are some new things that I've been learning that is quite interesting to learn about. Hey, from Wisconsin. All right. Chats are rolling now. Exactly. Okay. So essentially, a lot of people are worried about losing muscle on keto because, again, people do not understand the physiology of how this thing works. I dare to not really talk about weight loss right now because that's like what a lot of people do keto for. But there's also a reason why you guys are not losing weight, which again is nothing new. Yeah, cool. Hey, from Scotland and from Michigan. Okay, so I'll go into the muscle issue. Okay, the problem is that a lot of you guys are living these lives of like skipping meals, poor quality food. You drink coffee to replace low energy. You're not sleeping well. You're introduced to too many toxins. Men, your testosterone's so low. So many of you men. And women have become very estrogen dominant. In fact, most women that I speak to have some type of estrogen dominance, even if their estrogen is in the right level, but their progesterone is too low, which dominates the estrogen, which still creates a problem when you don't have a balance of your testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. So it seems like all the females that I talk to have issues with their hormones, their reproductive hormones, and with men it's quite visible. Now some men have muscle and still have low T, which is quite interesting, but these tend to be younger guys. With men it's quite black and white that your testosterone is wavering a little bit too low. And so people will go and do keto and not factor in their lifestyle. I am cooking food, so I forgot to set my timer, which I want to talk about cooked food. Okay, so essentially you can lose muscle on keto, and quite a lot of it. So because a lot of you guys are not doing DEXA scans or some type of dunking of the water, body fat percentage check before. But really a DEXA scan is great because it also will analyze your lean mass, muscle mass. A lot of you guys are losing muscle, you're losing proteins, doing keto the wrong way. So that's why I'm here. I think I'm turned more into, I will tell you guys how to keto adapt, but I'm often telling you guys what you're doing wrong so you can then make those corrections and then adapt. So that seems to be more pressing to me rather than, okay, well, we're going to do 80% fat and 15% protein, 5% carbohydrate. And then you guys will be confused on what the breakdown of the grams that would actually be, which probably should be in my next video. But with that said, you guys will do keto. You'll drop your carbs too quickly. You won't be sleeping or breathing correctly. You won't be following a circadian rhythm. And your blood sugar becomes erratic and all over the place. That often happens. Or you guys will have chronically low blood sugar, think that it's great that your blood sugar is in the 60s, and you don't realize that you've become hypoglycemic or develop more outstanding reactive hypoglycemia. Oh, from Ontario, awesome. Okay, so you guys, I can't see the question, so when you're like salted or unsalted, I don't even know why, because I'm not talking about that right now. Okay, so with that said, so a lot of you guys will start to burn through your amino acids, and intermittent fasting, this happens often. So I spoke to someone who's like, yeah, but my blood sugar was always, now with the intermittent fasting thing, you still have the problem with burning through amino acids because you're not adapted. So then people say, oh, it's good for insulin regulation. But the problem is a lot of you guys have a rebound effect fasting. So at first you notice that your blood sugar drops, your insulin drops, and then it rebounds, and then you start having this physiological insulin resistance rebound response, and then all of a sudden the blood sugar shoots up, and then the insulin shoots back up. So we have to start thinking about the lifestyle. So I'm not saying that you can't fast and you can't do this, you can't do that. You just have to make hardcore lifestyle adjustments so it can all fit together like a nice puzzle. And there's too many missing pieces in that puzzle. So when you guys try to do these crazy dietary measures, even the carnivore diet, you guys might be doing things the wrong way because people are impatient to get things going. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate it. So, the reason why people don't tend to gain muscle, if I speak on just their macros, is that they have their protein too high. Because they'll go on keto message boards and they'll say, you can't lose weight if your fats are too high. So then instantly, if your fats are low, too low for a ketogenic diet, low, and your fats are too low and your protein is too high, people feel like they're losing weight, but they don't actually realize they're not creating enough viable ketones. So my mantra that I always say is that I learned from you guys. I coach people all the time. I've been doing it for years now. This isn't something I just came up with. And I started keto coaching people because of the demand for it. First, I just wanted to get the information out there, because when I went out and started doing ketogenic vlogs or videos, there was nothing. There was Nora Gagatis, there was some stuff from Jimmy Moore, there was Stephen Jeff Volek, and there was like spottiness, but there was nothing else. It was like a desert of information. There was nothing. And so I experimented with personal training clients at the time and came up with a lot of data. I thought at the time, I did the energy in my videos at the time, but it's been a process of learning. So now here I am, and I'm realizing that a lot of you guys become gluconeogenic. So that's when your cortisol is running too high. You have too much adrenal response because of your lifestyle. And, I drive my car 3 times a month, maybe 4. If I find myself driving in Los Angeles, just in the middle of the day, I want to take like a plastic fork and like stab it right there, because the book is not even finished yet, so that's a whole nother subject. But I drive in traffic and like people can't drive, and I'm analyzing the stress response that you guys have to go through. So you don't realize that people can't quantify stress because they think stress is, I've been arguing with people, I've got bills, my children, my partner. A lot of people quantify that as stress, but stress can also be from the improper way to breathe, posture, your estrogen dominance, poor lymphatic draining. You guys have issues with your gut, clearly. Adrenal insufficiencies, you guys have candida, and these are the rotating subjects I always talk about. And the reason why I talk about them all the time is because people don't seem to get how important they are. So you guys try to do keto and you're not factoring in any of these lifestyle things. You don't sleep well, but then you're like, oh, but I go to bed at 1 and I wake up at 9, and I'm like, I get my 8 hours, and I'm like, that's not deep sleep. You're not following a circadian rhythm. See this sirens? I hear these sirens all the time. In the beginning of me living here, I didn't notice them until I started doing consultations and registering what stress would be. So the problem is, thank you so much for the no caffeine, no cheese. Changed my diet, had nuts in, and get a rapid heart rate now. Oh, interesting. Eat it. Adrenal makes bad gut flora proliferate like crazy. Yes. So what you guys don't understand is like one negative thought can get your gastric juices already percolating, right? Stress is already affecting you in seconds, and you don't recognize that because you're not living in an environment where you can actually de-stress. So I did a consultation with a woman from Alaska. What's today? Yesterday. Yeah. Was it yesterday? And she led an amazing life, like moved from LA to Alaska. It's like beautiful. And then we started talking, and her blood sugar consistently in the 90s, low, high 90s, probably even higher sometimes. And so she couldn't understand why her blood sugar was high, doing everything perfectly. And she said, but I know maybe I'm missing some things. That's why I'm here to do consultation with you. Well, I lived in Sweden, you guys, for a long time. And obviously, you're having seasonal issues of not enough vitamin D. And that's the problem when it starts in the winter time. It starts getting light at 9 a.m. and it starts getting dark at 12 noon, and by 3 o'clock it's dark. So often kids will go to school when it's still dark and come home when it's starting to get dark. And that really affects your ability to get enough vitamin D, which I'll talk about vitamin D from the sun and actually dietary vitamin D to have your reserves go up. So we began to speak about that. So that's a problem right there. And she admitted that was a problem. Then we spoke about the fact that she's not doing any lifting, that she does all these crazy hikes. I go, that's great because it gives you that endorphin rush and it's getting you breathing. But as a woman who's a little older, you need to keep that muscle density and you need to protect your adrenals and you need to keep growth hormones percolating as you get older. So we spoke about that, and so, because if you have chronically high out of a keto, now she wasn't insulin resistant with glucose in the 90s, but if she continued to do keto with blood sugar in the 90s, she's not adapting. She's literally burning through her amino acids. And if you're an older woman, like you cannot hyper speed up your aging because you're not adapting. And that's what was going on with her. Because why work so hard on like pastured, organic, grass-fed, non-GMO fed? Let me check my food, people. Hold on a second. I think we're good. We good. Okay. So, the problem is that the reason why people are losing muscle on keto is because they're not factoring in things. And the reason why I'm giving, did I say that twice? I did. Here's the third time. The reason why I'm giving these examples of people is because here's a woman who was eating high quality food, 200 grams of fat. Oh, she was intermittent fasting. That's another problem. I explained to her, she's like, but I've been intermittent fasting like a big portion of my life. And I go, you look at your blood sugar. You are intermittent fasting and you have a blood sugar in, and she's keto and intermittent fasting. Blood sugar up here in the 90s. You guys, 90 milligrams per deciliter or 5.2 millimolar in glucose, that's you burning through your proteins, your skin, the collagen, creating more of that turkey gobbler, the flab under your neck, men making your legs tiny. You can't know. So she hadn't tested her ketones, and I beg to say that they probably weren't very high with a blood sugar of 90. So you guys got to kind of factor in, like, where's your glucose is probably going to be indicative of where your ketones are. Now, some people are freaks. They really make good ketones. Oh, thank you so much, Victoria. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the fiver to the chat. Thank you through the super chat. Appreciate it. So if your blood sugar is in the 90s and you're not measuring your ketones, it's pretty safe to say that either your ketones are not very viable or that they're pretty low. And so now she's just constantly, and her sleep was not very well. And if you're out there, I'm just using you as an example without mentioning your name. Obviously a lovely woman, but she's a great example of somebody who on paper did everything the right way. Everything the right way. But intermittent fast created, a continuum of high blood sugar. Poor ketone use, estrogen dominant. Now her estrogen, she assumed that her body fat percentage was around 30. So often, and it's a little awkward when I do this, but often I have people stand up. In this case, I did not have her lift up her shirt because that would be pointless. She had a t-shirt on and she was storing fat. And I said, and her caloric intake was very low. I think it was, she was saying, oh, this day I hit 2,000. I was like, 2,000? Like at 5'7", you should clearly be going, and she's doing a lot of activities. And I'm talking about this woman as a story because I think just rambling off a bunch of keto facts, a lot of you viewers who watch me after the fact get all freaked out when I'm just like jumping all over the place answering questions. The point is that this person is going to have a hard time keto adapting intermittent fasting. Okay, and then hiking on the intermittent fasting, and then not getting enough sleep on the intermittent fasting, and eating a lot of fat, but she didn't eat it all throughout the day. right? She was just having big chunks of it 2 parts of her day. She would have 8 ounces of steak. 8 ounces. I mean, your stomach having to digest, and this is cooked meat, you know? That's another subject. So 8 ounces of cooked steak, I was like, towards bed, I go, your body does not want to digest at night. That's a lot of work for the body to do, and often that can rebound and spike your blood sugar. Thank you, Victoria. You'd love to see my next book, different case studies. Yes. Yeah. So I will create a series of books, and I'm really glad that I didn't finish the book on the original date, because the stuff that I've learned in the last couple months is just mind altering. It's amazing what I've learned, and the ability to protect these telomeres and to sort of create an anti-aging effect. Obviously, you guys know I've mentioned it every live stream that I am now officially 51 years of age, and I'm in half tops, so you guys can see. If you go back through 10 years of videos, you're not going to see somebody who was overweight and unhealthy looking in the entire 10, almost 11 years of me doing this. Yes, and I'm just trying to, did somebody say genetics? No, David, it's not my genetics. You know, at this juncture at 51, it's no longer genetics. Like, you know, if I get a physical, they like are screaming at me to do mammograms and pap smears and like, oh, you're at this age, and oh, you're in, you know, your menstrual cycle, and you're in perimenopause soon, and all of this ridiculousness. And I'm like, do you see me? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Make sure it's turned off. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but you're in that age group. So, you know, we have to do all these tests for like ovarian cancer and cervical cancer and you know, mammograms. And I'm like, I don't want to do a mammogram because I don't need that radiation. Let's do an ultrasound. And they just keep persisting that I need to get a mammogram because I'm in that age and susceptible, of cancer. So this is the reason why I give these stories as an example. So I've talked to other women who are younger than me, and like I had a consultation with another woman a couple days ago. She's like, I want to look just like you. She had done many fitness competitions. Her menstrual cycle was already starting to be irregular at the age of 40. How old was she? Oh, she was 40. She was 40 years of age, and I'm like, that's not good. And I talked to these women that haven't had a menstrual cycle in 6 months, and I'm like, you know, you're hitting menopause. She's like, no, I want to have a kid. So, Deborah's probably doing her own thing. The cool thing is that I don't see any. If there's any trolls, I don't even see them right now, so we're good. Okay, let me see. Let me go back and try to find him. I guess I have to be my own moderator today. Okay, so we're good. He's gone now. We got 104 people. Can we get the like ratio up, guys? Because I'm going to break down more information for you. And liking up the stream will help get more people to this channel. Yeah, the troll's gone now, you guys. Oh, like 4 of you guys are like, get the troll. He's gone. He should be gone. Yeah, he's gone now. I don't even know what he was saying. I'm really glad because I'm in that mood where I really just want to teach you guys as much as possible. Yeah, everything has radiation. I agree. But when you have your boot pressed in a thing and they click a button, you know, I don't want to feel pressured into doing that because they kept stressing, I'm 51, I'm 51, I'm 51, I'm 51, I'm 51. And this is where I want to teach you guys about epigenetics So talking about like using these people as examples in my stories, the woman who's in her 40s, and she's a sweetheart, just absolute sweetheart. She's like, I want to have a body like yours. And I think this was another intermittent fasting person, a person who definitely did bodybuilder competitions, which are, you know, maybe great for sport, but terrible, absolutely terrible for a female body. But the point about losing muscle on keto has a lot to do with you guys aren't going to bed early. And that's part of the reason, like, when I started writing the book, like, I'd be like, I don't care. I'm not done with this section. I will close everything down and go to bed, because at this juncture of my life, I want to protect my adrenal glands no matter what. So you guys don't realize that these poor little things are the size of green peas, and they regulate your energy when you are missing meals, when you are stressed out, and they actually just become overused. The hormones, the adrenaline, the norepinephrine, the cortisol response is constant and it's chronic. So then you guys start to develop secondary health issues like, you know, pregnenolone steal you guys, your reproductive hormones start to get weird. Men, you can't gain muscle, your legs get super thin because of constantly eating from the muscle of the legs. And women become so estrogen dominant. And then what I tried to explain to this woman from Alaska is that fat cells can make estrogen. And then estrogen can produce more fat. So you just keep getting bigger, and you eat less and you eat less, and just keep getting more fat, flabby and fatty. So you have to factor in biology. So in the wild, we would never be eating all day long. That's a burden to your digestive tract. And we just never would be doing that. But at the same time, if they didn't eat, they rested. We never rest. We're constantly stimulated. And as somebody said, cell phones, radiation from cell phones, and electricity. I mean, our bodies never get a break. We just don't get a break. So since we live in the modern time, we have to do everything that we can to protect the adrenals. So if you do something like a ketogenic protocol, which a lot of you guys are doing it for weight loss or fat loss, and then a portion of you guys are doing it for total health, then all of a sudden you have to nitpick at all these stupid things that make the diet seem, you know, not possible. But it is possible, and it's actually quite, it's euphoric to be able to take control. And I think for those who are in my age group, you get it, and the ones who are younger don't get what I'm saying, but there's something euphoric about not falling apart. So I've watched documentaries about age and perception of age, and last night I was watching something about this like group of people, and they want to live a long time, and they're talking about epigenetics, but you can tell in this seminar they're not factoring in really dumb things, not dumb, but like small things like your posture. Like, your core is everything. And I keep explaining to people, you're sitting at a desk at your computer, there's not enough upper trunk circulation. So people have secondary, third problems from day-to-day living that you're not factoring in. I don't know how many people have sciatica. So many of you guys have sciatica issues, back issues, frozen shoulder, carpal tunnel, tinnitus, numbness of the fingers, which is Raynaud's disorder from too much cortisol. You guys have loose stool, or you're constantly constipated, and you know, people are just daily like just accepting these things. Their hair's thinning or gets really, really dry. Oh, when you get older, your hair should get really, really dried out, and your lips shrivel and get thin, all this weird stuff. Thank you, Bay, Veg. And people do workout, desk all day to combat. You know, people are doing desk things like standing desks, or stretching, or doing some movement in between, like every hour, diaphragmatic breathing every hour. And those small little things, you guys, are amazing at regulating that cortisol. Because if you can't regulate the cortisol from too much adrenal response, you will start burning through, right? That too much cortisol, bathed in cortisol, will create an inflammatory response. And then you start getting hiccups with your body. And then you do keto, you don't adapt, blood sugar's running chronically too high, and you're just losing muscle. You're losing amino acids, not even muscle. Like, who cares about muscle? You're losing the collagen, that lovely collagen that makes your skin not hang, your jowls not hang, everything hang, things hang, right? Like a drum. This is like a drum right here. Boom. And I notice right here with men and women as we get older, it's just they just can't tighten that part up. And what I try to explain to people is that when you're driving in that car, right, and you're stressed or you're not breathing or too much blue light exposure or third shift night workers or your children, the body's going to burn through the aminos in real weird spots of the body. It's very bizarre. And here's one of them. You guys know that, the ones who are getting older. You guys who are younger, like, you can't conceptualize this stuff. This is like blah, blah, blah to you. It's like blah, 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 blah. People are younger worried about being ripped and shredded and lean, and girls don't want any cellulite and a perfect butt and like stupid things like that. When you're younger, you don't actually factoring in that you're going to age and you're going to look like you're getting older, like a dried out apple. So can you necessarily reverse things, or can you stop the aging process and bring health to the body? So when I talk about gluconeogenesis ad nauseum, and I talk about muscle loss, it has a lot to do with chronically high blood sugar, which means chronically high cortisol and also insulin. And so insulin is going to go ahead and help you store fat, and then that cortisol is going to help you burn through your amino acids. And a lot of people experience this on keto, so therefore they're very afraid to lose muscle. But what I'm here to tell you is, as you guys can see, I have really good, look at that. This is a woman, 51, right? This is a woman at 51. I've got muscle. And because I'm like so protective of my adrenals, so as to not have my blood sugar run high, to keep my blood sugar in a ketogenic range, which is between 69 and 80 milligrams per deciliter, and like a 77 is a nice sweet spot, with the ketones between a 1.8 and a 3.0. And you keep it at that range and breathe and do all these things. The benefits of keto are just unreal. How you can literally change your genetics, the way your genes work. Because you guys see here, this is a 51-year-old woman with tight skin. So if you guys change your life, go to bed early, breathe, get your posture corrected, stretch, exercise properly, get out the toxins, all these types of things, then when you do keto, you won't have to worry about muscle loss. You actually just start gaining more muscle because you're not cortisol driven, right? So cortisol is going to break down the amino acids. But if that's not happening, then now you can just grow muscle. And that's the reason at 51 I'm still gaining muscle. I mean, the amount of muscle that I'm gaining is stupid. I don't like, in one way I don't understand it because I'm around, thank you, Linda. Linda writes, Stephanie, thanks for identifying our issues. Now it's up to us to change things. Absolutely. Regarding exercise properly, do you have examples of exercise workouts, programs outlined? Well, Jeff is definitely a dude. It's like, Jeff, you're like workouts, programs, because people think that they can go and purchase a workout or follow a workout and think that that's going to be advantageous, but it's not going to be unless you breathe correctly. I don't know how many times I'm at the gym and I'm watching people not breathe. They're like, they hold their breath, right, on the positive motion. They'll hold their breath on the negative. And I'm like, what are you doing? Breathe! Breathe! So, people, a lot of guys use levers. They're using levers. People are using levers. They're not actually using the muscle, right? They're not positioning their arm. If you're doing a chest press, the whole point to get the deltoid, the whole deltoid, is to press and cross over, right? Because you're also gonna flex. You see right here. See, it's flexing right there. And so just learning how to properly do your form the correct way is more than like what workout or exercise do you do, because that's just not the most important. It's like, is your head up? Are your shoulders pronated? Do you have a tilted pelvic girdle? Like, you could do a million abs, and if your pelvic girdle is tilted forward, you're not going to develop those lower abs, right? Or it's supinate. If it's pushed backwards and you keep doing abs and it's like this. So I guess my question is about how to be consistent and not to guess at what I'm supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. I'm totally bought time, slow reps. Oh, time under tension. Yeah, so I love time under tension. I've been doing this methodology for 20 years of working out. I never was a person who used levers, right? I wasn't swinging anything. A lot of guys overlift, and then women have this concept that they need to overlift, and women will be like, oh, I need to take today off because for a beginner, is it better to be consistent and go for an hour walk every day or work out? No, it's Jessica. I don't like when people walk an hour a day because they have this like Oprah like old lady fast walking thing in their head. It's almost like you should walk with a dog because a dog's going to stop every second, which forces you to stop and think and not just be on this mission to walk. No, you can walk for an hour, but it should be like, really slow and paced out. I really prefer that people lift, do body weight, resistance training, anything that's resistance. Even something like people who feel like they have too much cortisol can do Tai Chi to get actin and myosin to do its job rather than yoga. Yoga's great, but I don't want that to be your primary source of exercise because I want muscle fibers to grind. Right? That's where you're going to have a great metabolic response instead of just holding a position. But I'm digressing. The point is, if you don't want to lose muscle, you want to become insulin sensitive. So now your blood sugar is regulated, you're using ketones, you're not using sugar. Remember, your body can make sugar out of your muscle. So that's why what we don't want. That's why people ramp down their workouts in the very beginning of trying keto so they don't go in and have their adrenal glands start cranking out cortisol too much. Because if your carbs are low and the gas tank is in the muscle. So if the glycogen is depleted, then the whole point is glycogen depletion, start making ketones, and voila, you're adapted and you're getting lean and strong. No, it doesn't work that way. Your body's glycogen is depleted and you're not making enough viable, accessible ketones, then your brain's like, I don't want to go into a coma, so let's just burn your amino acids to nothing. We don't want that. So that's the reason why you got to ramp down your workouts, because if your glycogen's depleted and you're continuing to do HIIT training with the depletion of your glycogen, you are a perfect candidate to start burning through your amino acids, and it's a hot mess. So 61 and have been doing keto for over 2 years. Love it. Building muscle to stay fit. Love it, Joanne. And Joanne, you're so awesome. I didn't know you were that old, Joanne. I had no idea. Look at you, Joanne. Right on. So Joanne has been around following what I've been doing for a while. So that was really nice to see that. Every time I do a class, the last hour interval class, my sugar stays high. Exactly. The rest of the day on and on. See, Lynn, this is such a great example that I try to tell people, these glucometers are a pain in the butt. You got to prick your finger. But just to establish, you don't have to use them forever. But just to establish the highs and lows of your blood sugar on activities or food that you eat or lack of sleep, or like if you're having Dawn's effect in the morning, it's amazing to then understand, wow, I do a workout, my blood sugar's high. So then that forces you to consider your posture, your breathing, your form, or the intensity of your workout. Those are the things that you'll have to reinvestigate in your own life. So if you are using viable ketones and your blood sugar is in that sweet spot and your ketones are in that sweet spot, see, more sirens. Ketones are in that sweet spot, and sleep is good, following a circadian rhythm, you're getting enough REM cycles. Then you'll notice this really crazy thing of your skin smoothing out, right? Because you're not gluconeogenic, it's not saggy, right? Because that can happen with people whose blood sugars are erratic. They're like, I did keto, my skin started getting crepey. So, because you're not breathing and you're not getting to sleep. And you're still pushing the body to the ultimate limit, thinking, I'm going to get so lean, so fabulous, it's going to be wonderful. Guys are like, yeah, bro, I'm going to get shredded. And then you don't get shredded. You get like more chub and loose skin around the waist. So strength training has the best way to build muscle and increase insulin sensitivity. Yes, obviously. It's resistance training. I wouldn't say strength training, because it's about resistance. It's about the biology, right? The physiology, rather. Of the muscle biology or physiology of actin and myosin being able to counter grind against each other, just called the sliding filament theory, and having this metabolic action within the muscle cell. So we want good GLUT4 receptors to be able to uptake insulin that we don't need, glucose, that we don't want to store as fat. So you've got really healthy muscles and bone marrow, which affects your hormones and your ability to stay young. So, in fact, doing keto the right way helps you build better muscle, has you get muscle as you become lean at the same time, because now your body will access that fat without being gluconeogenic. There's no fight or flight thing going on. So the body doesn't need to store out of danger. There is no danger. The body's just chilling. You gain more muscles, the hormones become more regulated, and you stay lean. And you've got energy and you've got amazing mental acuity. So I can't speak more highly of this dietary protocol, but you have to know how to do it the right way. That's why I do a series of live streams. Now, I want to talk about the gut 2 seconds, then we'll sit down and answer your questions. So, I've been really enjoying the binge watching of carnivore everything. I think, a lot of these people are very intelligent who are, let's say, teachers of it, leaders in it. Very intelligent people, but I think just because I've been doing this for so long, I might have a little bit more information in different areas of the body, like the thyroid, the adrenals, like, hormones and things of this nature. But the gut is very interesting, how people do the carnivore diet in terms of having gut issues, which ultimately leads to all those things like thyroid and whatever, autoimmunity to the highest level. So would a methodology like Body for Life, Bill Phillips, that uses time under tension with appropriate test rest periods be a good program? The only thing about these other people, like Doug McGuff and this guy, what's his name again, Bill Phillips, is that I disagree, especially with people who, a lot of people who follow me aren't like gym experts, that I think that the time under tension amount of 10 to 15 seconds in the negative position is too long in what I've experienced. I think that doing a 3 or 4 second negative time under tension is more effective for those who are not, really well versed in resistance training. But if I talk about the gut real quick. So the carnivore thing, I think that what I find very interesting is the idea that insoluble fiber can bulk up in the colon and make it even more difficult to poop. Now, in some aspects, it can, take things out of you. But if you're having chronic, people with hypothyroidism or Hashis, people who've got candida, so bad a gut dysbiosis, a lot of you guys, it doesn't. The more fiber that you take, the more you can poop. And so we have to look at food in a different way, because people are always saying that you need all of this cruciferous vegetables, and I've been definitely pushing the crap out of that for years until now, and I evolve, and I hope you guys all evolve as well. Do you eat nutritional yeast? Do you recommend colonics? No colonics. They're so bad. They can actually pull really good bacteria out of you, and you don't need to do a colonic. You just need to learn how to either rebalance the gut flora, or you need to chew slower, or you need to change what you're actually eating. So these are some of the things that you can do to be able to have nice stools. So stools should be brown, they should be not pale, they shouldn't be yellow, they shouldn't float, they shouldn't be loose, and they shouldn't be hard and compact. And that's what a lot of you guys go through. Some people are like, oh, I'm not constipated, I poop every day, but it's hard stool. And I'm like, that's constipation. So there are little, smaller things like, oh yeah, a lot of you guys don't drink enough water, so that's a varying factor. But we don't necessarily have to increase our fiber, which is what I've sort of kind of pushed in the past. It's like, never really felt good about doing that. But I wouldn't necessarily push more fiber. I would think about how much you cook your food. So here's the part of this video I want to get to. Repopulating gut has to be hard for me. I have everything you just described. Okay, so you counted cooked. I counted cooked because the water's cooked out. No, the carnivore diet, in my opinion, and I'm no expert, so you carnivore people who come here, don't freak out, but I don't think it has enough vitamins and minerals, because you can't just say, oh, it's a carnivore diet. You have to actually break down exactly what you're eating, and I mean exactly. And then you have to break down if you're malabsorptive. So a lot of you guys come from a leaky gut reality, and so you've got to know what you react to. So a lot of you develop histamine response. I told you guys it's a diamine oxidase. A lot of you don't have the enzymes to break down the histamine from certain high histamine foods. And so even though it's on the carnivore list, certain meats you guys don't do well on. So you've actually got to find the meats that you do well on. But the idea of either eating some meats raw or lightly searing it, like barely just for your, for the non-grossness of it, because it's pretty much raw in the middle. This means that bacteria, right? It's not high meat, but bacteria on that raw meat is collecting, which is what we want, okay? And then we want the natural enzymes of the actual protein to digest that, because this, you guys, is what does not bulk up in the colon. Problem of cooking your meats, constantly cooking your meats, not only for the carcinogens, but it's dry meat getting stuck in your colon. Then you guys can't poop, right? And then you develop things like lazy colon. So you have a problem with peristalsis. So these are some of the things that you guys have to consider. I used to take a lot of cod liver oil, but I don't do it anymore. If you guys take cod or just omega-3 fish oil, make sure that it's a very high quality, and that if you drop it in a glass of water and it begins to break and fall apart very quickly, then you're buying stuff that's not stable. Like my landlord, bless her heart, because she's like one of my favorite people on the planet, but she's trying to quit smoking, and she read that if you take fish oil, that it'll help you stop with smoking. And I was like, okay, well, let me go Google that. But she showed the jar of fish oil. It looked like something she bought at Target. And I was like, no. That's not going to do anything except add more toxin to your body. Do we have another troll? Am I just tripping? What is one day cheat food, if any? Why would you cheat? Classic 1984. Like, why would you cheat? So I'm talking about food in another way. Like, cheating is addictions. That's like having some type of an addiction. No. If you guys want to get better with your health, it's black and white. Either you stay in that zone, right? You do the best you can, which is over there, or you fix the problem. That's it. I'm sitting here talking about not cooking your food so much because of all the issues with cooking it, right? The temperature at which you cook it, the types of foods that you cook. And the irony is that a lot of you guys cannot digest the fiber in plant source food, so you got to cook it down, but then cooking it creates carcinogens. So we're kind of in this precarious situation. So then when it comes to the meats, you overcook the meats. That stuff bulks up and binds in your colon. You can't poop it out. And the nutritional value is low. So I'm starting to think that people should cook their foods a lot less than what they're accustomed to. Finally black and white, right? No cheat days there, Keto Muscle says, are here. So these are the things that I wanted to talk about, is to be very careful. So I think I'm going to do a semi-raw. So I just cooked some salmon. So I've cooked salmon. And then I bought some soft beef, sorry, I'm going to sneeze, from the belly. And I'm going to season it. And I'm going to eat it raw. Because I want a portion of, now I'm still doing, and I got shite. I have heart. I've got heart and beef liver in my refrigerator. So right now I'm eating pastured eggs. I'm eating heart, beef liver, salmon, and I'm eating flat meat because I want to try it raw, just to get used to a softer meat that I can spice up and eat. And I really hope that that's going to help digestion in my body exponentially by starting to go, I'm searing the heart and I'm searing the liver, and I'm going to eat the flat meat totally raw, 100% raw. And that's my, news to you guys, is to consider, like, you're trying to adapt, but you're not considering the equipment in your body, like, is it working? Because if it's not working and you're not digesting well, probably won't keto adapt very well. So when people are like, how many macros and how much protein do I eat? And can I drink this tea? It doesn't matter. You need to know how your digestion is. You need to make sure that you're not malabsorptive and you don't have leaky gut and you don't have parasites and you don't have candida and that you can hit REM cycles, right? And you're not constantly gluconeogenesis, and cut out coffee and cheese and nuts and all this ridiculousness. That I'm taking it a step further and I'm like, don't cook your meat as much. Don't cook your food as much. Don't have frozen vegetables. Okay, I'm gonna sit down and talk to y'all. Retreat, not cheat. High quality meat, eggs fast. Yeah, okay. You see, carnivore doesn't seem to worry about gluconeogenesis because they're not keto people. What I've learned is that the carnivorous people have a lot of health issues, and they do it, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so fabulous! I feel great." But it's kind of like veganism. A lot of people go from processed foods to like whole vegan food choices, and they feel better at first. But there's not a lot of information out there about with the carnivore diet. I think people are just starting to get the information now. But I would prefer that people keep it keto, to keep the fats really high, because what I've learned is that when people eat too many lean meats, they don't feel well, they don't have enough energy, and then nobody's talking about the biology of ketones on a carnivorous diet. What kind of meat, like nobody's talking about that kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep it keto. It's always going to be keto no matter what. I'm not going to have people go over to the carnivore diet, but I think for those who've got really bad histamine intolerance, any type of, hardcore allergies and autoimmunity, that it's something to consider for the short term as to heal that gut, because the gut is what the big problem is. Okay, can't find tallow, lard, etc. at my local stores. Is there a website? Yes, there's Fatworks. Oh, man, I'm sitting too close to this camera. There's fatworks.com. And there's another, I can't remember. You guys have a keto course page, and somebody had posted where you can get fats, some other stuff, meats, online. So the alternative is always online. I haven't studied enough about the warrior diet, but I don't really care. I think that the carnivore diet is something that makes sense when it comes to autoimmunity, and then make it a ketogenic version. So the rest of them, I don't care. Lard on Amazon. Yeah, so you get a lot of these fats on Amazon. There is fatworks.com though. They make all fat. Do you reduce estrogen primarily through diet and exercise? No, it's also breathing, keeping a straight, like pooping, because you want to get rid of excess estrogen that's in the liver. It's not just diet and exercise, right? It's getting your lymphatic system to move. Dry brushing is a good idea for that. It's avoiding xenoestrogens. It's avoiding stress, because stress will create cortisol, which creates this pregnenolone steel effect. So it's not just diet and exercise. Like I said, you guys, all this stuff is a lot of moving parts. Hi Stephanie, I've had high blood pressure. How do I start keto? Thanks. So is it Myra? Yeah. So Myra, is it Bravo? You guys, you can't just give me like a sentence and tell me how you're starting. Like, I don't know how long you've had high blood pressure for. I don't know your age. I don't know your life. I don't know your job. I don't know what time you go to bed. I don't know anything about you. But probably all these things that I've mentioned in this video play a role in why your blood pressure is high. Now, primarily it's due to not getting enough sleep. It's a main reason. And also people eating like a processed food diet. That's another big indication of blood pressure being high through advanced glycation end product. You guys are having too much glucose in the body, and it's putting stress on cells. And if you have any calcification or hardening of the arteries, boom, blood pressure goes up. But it's typically exacerbated through not enough sleep. I'm sorry, Steph, but you are very attractive. Oh, thank you. No frozen veggies, nah. Thank you. What is it? Oh, Toy's fun. Thank you. How do we assess our gut? Any tests? There's different types of tests. If you guys want to check for any type of diverticulitis or Crohn's or IBS, really, it's hard to make tests on these types of things. Tests on your parasitical candida. There are specific tests for which I can't remember the name right now, of wheat gluten intolerance. But I'd really write down a journal of all your symptoms, because it's kind of apparent. Like I said, bloating, gas, tired, skin problems, can't sleep, you've developed autoimmunity, fibromyalgia, polycystic ovarian syndrome, like all of these things are indication of having poor gut permeability. Okay, guys, we got 101 people in the house. Can we like up this stream? We've got 76 likes. Can we get the likes up? Because I am really working hard to try to answer these questions and explain things clearly. So can we get the likes up? And if you guys have a problem liking the stream, let me know. Because some people don't even know where the like button is. But can we get the likes up? We got 78, 79. Let's get them up, guys. I hate asking for that. I wish people would just do it naturally. You know, but yeah, just don't forget to like the stream. Let's see here. If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think that's a subjective question because I do calisthenics. It wouldn't be like an exercise. It would be probably handstands. Anything that's handstand, if you wanted something specific. But it's a very odd question because I wouldn't like do pull-ups all day or I wouldn't do squats all day. I can't even because my knee sucks. Do we have any more last questions, guys? We're almost at an hour. Jello. What about Jello? Got any more questions, y'all? You're welcome, Eden. You're so welcome. Chaga mushroom tea. Everyone, I've never tried it. People say it's fine and it doesn't create a candida response, so why not? Okay, here we go. Here we go. How can you tell if you have parasites? Crave sugar, skin's messing up, gas, tired, brain fog. What carb cravings that are very strong? So that's also like candida. Candida can create carb cravings. Low serotonin, like your brain chemistry is off, so that'll make you crave carbs. Not eating enough will make you crave. Like people don't eat. Like if you're a carb person, you have to constantly restore glycogen to not be gluconeogenic because you can't run on just blood sugar. Like that's just not enough energy. Okay, I'm just kidding. I didn't see what you said. Let me see. Does consuming very high fat increase symptoms of... No. ED? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. We told you that. Hey, MKKG. How do you eat meat raw like sashimi? Yeah, you can. Look, you guys, have you guys ever had like a really rare steak? I mean, there's no difference. It's just such a mental thing. So, you know, the carnivore people just go and grab and eat it. I'm going to actually spice mine and make it tasty and, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I'm not doing the carnivore diet. Oh, thank you, RTY Pepe. Thank you. You're always so nice to donate to the super chat. Thank you so much. Truly. I see some people who are consistently coming back, so that's awesome. Okay, blimey. First time I've had managed to see you live. Oh, in your Bermuda. Oh, hi, Ryan. What? Can you restart? What? Okay, what is the actual cut of the beef you will eat raw? It's flap sirloin, I think. Because it's really soft. It's the belly of the cow, and it's a very soft meat. So, you know, I'd rather start completely raw on something that's, you know, has like a prosciutto type of thinness to it and ease to it. How do you know when you are in REM sleep? Oh, because you remember your dreams. They become very vivid. That's pretty easy answer. Yeah, baby, I like it cooked. Okay, what is ghee? Ghee is cooked butter. So you take the butter and you boil it over a long period of time to cook out things like whey and casein and any impurities. Some people react poorly on just butter, and so they're forced to go to ghee, and some people can't even tolerate ghee. clarify better. Is fat? I don't get the question. Sorry. The meat is eaten raw. Doesn't that create a risk of? No. 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 If you're eating pasture raised, healthy animals, then you don't have a risk of parasites. No. Or salmonella or any of this ridiculousness. How detrimental is adequate fat intake on testosterone levels? How long to stop being cortisol driven? These are, Manuel, these are questions I can answer because I don't know your lifestyle. Like, there is no like, oh, we're just going into the little calculator and put in, fat, testosterone, and the length of time for testosterone to react. Everybody's different. Their hormonal release is different. Their sleep is different. Their breathing is different. Their this is different. Their stress is different. Their toxic load is different. Their detoxification pathways, like, liver, kidney, colon, and things like, the MTHFR mutation. All these things play a role in how your body works. And I'm not even talking about caffeine and stressful jobs and getting on the highway. If stool is floating and light in color, it could be, Jessica, gallbladder, having issues with the sludgy gallbladder, or gallstones, or your biliary system. So it's something you should check out if that's you. I mean, if you eat a lot of fat, you won't feel very well. Welcome, Tanya, Michelle. Oh, you guys are talking to each other? I don't know. So do we have any last questions, you guys? We're at an hour. What time is it? It's a little over 5:30 p.m. here in LA. You're back! You're back! Just like that! Boom! That's what's up. Had my gallbladder removed 8 years ago. Excuse say for me. Yeah. The thing is, it's so cute, dude. There are some people definitely online who do not think that. Yeah, the gallbladder the body is really amazing. The liver is still making the bile salts, but you don't have a gallbladder that holds the salts and releases it to break down fat. So your body finds another way to hold the salts. So some people don't need to take ox bile, which is an added salt. A lot of people take dietary ox, as in a moo, bovine ox bile, the ox's bile salts. That's how they do. And then you have to energy, right? You were in LA. Some ways, organic acid test. You mean the oats test? I think an oats test is great because you can do comprehensive testing on different panels, right? You can cherry pick what you want and put it together. You're a bit confused about intermittent fasting. It's just bad for you, Ryan. I eat breakfast, 8 a.m., lunch, and dinner, but the last meal is something. See, the problem is, Ryan, is that people talk about regulating their insulin fasting, but nobody's considering like a rebound or reactive hypoglycemia. I don't hear people talk about this. People don't talk about their prior health trying to do intermittent fasting because people are so obsessed with getting lean. They'll do anything and they'll just drink that Kool-Aid and they'll preach, can I get an amen to the intermittent fasting? Like, they'll just drink that Kool-Aid all day. And then we start asking them questions about physiology. It just, think about that. What's going on with your hormones? Have you done a free and total testosterone test? Like, are you hitting REM cycles? Like, what's going on with your adrenal glands? Do you have good gut motility? Do you have good gut flora? Because all of these things play a role. People with depression and anxiety, like, all of these things play a role, and no one's talking about it. People are just fasting and then doing a bunch of stuff instead of fasting and then doing nothing. You can fast, just don't move around. Conserve your energy. Do you get blood work? Not like you need it. Hold on. Do you get blood work? Not because your work, not if you need it because you're so healthy, but just wondering if your results show normal current. Yes, everything's normal. I've literally done a whole entire panel on, I just did an FSH test a couple days ago. Sex hormone panel, I don't test cholesterol anymore. It's subjective, so I don't touch that. That's just stupid testing, unless they're testing your particle size. My HDL and my HDL ratios have always been amazing, so I don't do that. My GP was like, oh, do you want a cholesterol panel? I'm like, no, why would I do that? It's just stupid. You guys can't read it anyway, you're GPs, huh? What else did I test? What else would I test? Blood pressure? Okay, whatever. Um, GPs aren't testing for good gut flora and motility. They're not testing for that. They don't test for leaky gut. They test your blood sugar. That's whatever. So there's not a lot of testing that I can actually do to show what. Thank you, Treasured Dreams. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you so much. Treasured Dreams. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I might have looked like an airhead in my first videos, but it was for the lack of not knowing more, And I just spoke about early on what I knew then. Now I know much more. And I'm getting older. Do you recommend tallow, lard, ghee only if people cannot tolerate butter? I recommend it all. I don't think people should just pound down the butter. I think that they should. Gary, you gotta stop. Gary's always being like a big support. Gary writes, hi Stephanie, join Stephanie's Facebook group. It's only $15 a month. Stephanie's live on our Facebook group every Sunday, where I do many consultations actually. Every Sunday, $15 a month is nothing for good health tips to improve the quality of your life. Thank you, Gary. Like, I don't even have to push myself because my awesome peoples, my peeps, my homies, my tribe are always supporting me. So thank you, Gary. Yes, you guys, I have a keto course page. I've had it for a couple years. Didn't promote it at all in the beginning because it's not my nature to like hardcore promote things. So I don't know how many friends are like, oh my god, your video quality has to be better, and you have to make your Instagram like this, and you have to make this like that, and you gotta like do all the cooking stuff. And I was like, yo, chill. That stuff will come. I don't have like this big desire to over push myself, clearly. But thank you, Gary, so much. Yes, you guys, I have a keto course Facebook group. If you want to join that, it is $15 a month. You can do 1 month, or I'm just contradicting myself, or 20 months, or not at all. I have another Facebook group, which is Stephanie the Business Person. I post there as well, but I don't. It's not intimate. Like it's not structured like a course. But yeah, you can go there and you don't have to pay them. Let's see here. I want to get my gut tested to see what my issues could. Remember, Jessica, like gut testing is very, like, you're not going to see everything. Like the body, like doctors know 2% of the body. So just know that you're not going to get all the answers. Get my gut to see. Just seriously start journaling your symptoms. Like, that's the best. And experimenting with foods and taking it out and putting it in and rotating and all this stuff. Wishes can be, but not. What sort types of tests they can test gut bacteria acid? Just go Google it. No, they don't test the stomach acid. Okay, I joke around a lot, but Steph really saved my life. I went from 325 pounds to 200. Whoa! I don't know this person. Who is it? Impala 583. LOL. Treat me differently. What is it? Treat me differently. I get attention from women again. No more ED, which is very important. A lot of guys go through that. Impala, nobody talks about it. And I'm so damn grateful. Stephanie equals Angel. Thank you. I'm not in my little sarcastic rant today, so I really appreciate that so much, Impala. Thank you. I eat my first meal at 8 a.m. and my last meal at 4 p.m. So 8 hours of feeding, 16 hours fasted, assuming I hit all macros is listed problematic. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know you. I don't know if you have reactive hypoglycemia, that doesn't work. If you don't have postprandial hypoglycemia, that could work. The 8 a.m. for breakfast, that's a little too late. That's not following a circadian rhythm, so I don't know why you do that. But I don't know you, so I don't know. Paula, fantastic. Well done. I know, isn't that sweet? Toys fun? That was super sweet. Ketones went from 6.2, which is too high. Not dangerous high, but just like you're just swimming high. Twice last week in the morning, glucose at 88. Yeah. Again, making lots of ketones, but you're losing them. So when the ketones get that high, it's like they're not getting into the cell to be uptaken and used. And so then they just swim high, just like high blood sugar. Okay, let me see. I'm almost done. I don't want to go too late on this. Giving up coffee is... What? God, the comments go so fast. AB, today is third day without coffee. Yes, first time in 30 years. Wow, muscle aches in the back, legs massively painful. Get your electrolytes in, some water, get some maybe Himalayan salt, and try DLPA or L-tyrosine. It's a supplement that people swear by when they get off coffee to have less of a coffee flu. Let's see here. Gary says, Stephanie, I've missed your live streams. Oh, yeah, that's right. The town I live in, was it North Carolina, got hammered. Oh, got hammered by the hurricane. Oh, you're watching the replays. Well, you made it today, so I really appreciate that you're here, Gary. You know I appreciate you. You know that. How do you feel about probiotic pills? Not everything with fermented foods and probiotic and all this stuff. You have to be just very careful that you guys don't have histamine issues, that you don't react to the probiotic. And I would start off with a low level of a probiotic with less strains, like only 4 strains instead of like 6 or 8 or 10, and the culture count lower. And then work your way up. Or if you tried like a fermented food, just have a small bite. And if you get any gas or any bloat or any histamine issues, cut it out quick. Coffee withdrawals make me feel like I have a flu. Yeah, so Tori's fine. You probably need more electrolytes. You probably need to try some DLPA. It's just it's a supplement you can get at Whole Foods or L-tyrosine. What is your take on what is this? Was it diatomaceous? I don't even know what that is. Or I've never tried it. Don't know. 25 teaspoons of Himalayan salt. What? 25ths of a teaspoon Himalayan salt and cream of tartar. I don't like the tartar. That's like chemicals. I'd rather have you. And you don't necessarily. You have to know your potassium storage. You don't have to just pound in a bunch of potassium, because spinach and avocado is quite high in potassium. And even meats and organ meats have potassium. Not a lot, but it still has it. Bone broth has potassium, and then that cream of tartar chemical nonsense. Yeah. Can I apply lemon and or vinegar to the face? I don't put that stuff on your face. Like, lemon is very, very acidic. Like, it's gonna burn your skin, bruh. I wouldn't do that. No. What's the symptoms of histamine intolerance? Thanks for the advice. Electrolytes. Histamine intolerance is a bunch of symptoms, so it can be from tired to loose stool to bloated to constipation, skin issues, mucus, sinus infections, colds and flus all the time, dandruff, white tongue, which is candida, just getting really puffy, really water retentive, gassy, red spots on the skin. I've watched all your vids. Oh, please don't. I love how your ideas have developed. Me too. Develop with new knowledge as you keep us informed. I keep grateful for your guidance and excited to be on my new first chat. But to be on my first chat, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. Yeah, you evolve, and I'm like a type, so like people will like provoke me and trigger me on the live chats, and I'm learning every video to just ignore it. And the content has changed because I've changed. I've learned a lot. I see when people adapt. I see when they don't adapt. I'm understanding autoimmunity a lot more and gut issues. See, sounds like me. What's the best electrolyte supplement? There is no best electrolyte supplement because supplements are freaking poison. Not all of them, but if you can get it from real food, is cheese good? No, it's garbage. Casein, and it's definitely from sick cows that are A1 cows. Does meat marinate or acids with apple cider vinegar still considered raw Asian? What? I don't get the question, sorry. Asian, Hispanic foods do this. I don't get the question. Maybe it's because I'm being hit with so many. Okay. Daily protein for females, 5'1", 100 pounds. Are you tiny? Like 45, 50 grams protein. Max. From your older videos, what are some of the food items you no longer recommend? Well, my older videos, I was having like organic butter instead of grass-fed. My older videos, I was still pushing cheese and nuts. Those are gone. My knowledge of autoimmunity so there wasn't, to be honest, there's not a lot of food changes, but my understanding of autoimmunity and people's having issues adapting. That's why you see these new videos like, oh, keto is dangerous. That really should be my next live video. They don't understand because they haven't done it long enough to get enough understanding. So if you do keto the wrong way, of course, it's going to frack you up. Do you recommend exercise in the morning or afternoon? Always morning. But like if you can do it mid-morning, most people can't, but that would be ideal. What's the best way to cleanse your kidneys? I don't know the best way. It's also considering your liver. So the kidneys are affected by liver detoxification, so you have to think of both. Plants are really great for the cleansing of the body, so parsley is amazing for the kidneys. Slippery elm is good for the kidneys, but like I don't know what actually is going to cleanse them. I don't know. Drink a lot of water, a lot. I mean, but not too much. Apple juice, honey. No, Peter, that's not keto. That's just sugar. No, apple juice is horrible for the kidneys. Just chew on some freaking parsley or make parsley tea. That's a really simple way to do it. Apple juice is just gonna destroy you. Freaking lectin heavy, genetically altered fruit with so much sugar. Nope. All right, guys. So it's time to go. 6 o'clock. I'm trying to keep these streams shorter. Because I'm short too. I'm petite déjeuner. I've got a strong, big personality, but I'm very small in stature. Thank you so much, Steph. You are amazing. Thank you so much, Christina. Brussels sprouts detox kidneys and liver. But Tori, if you're, you just have to be careful that you don't have an aversion. And too many Brussels sprouts can spike your blood sugar on keto. How do you keep your teeth so pretty? I don't think they are. I think that eating the standard American diet has ruined my teeth. When I was like 15, my teeth were literally perfect. White. My molars hadn't grown in at that point. And they were perfectly straight. I mean, literally, I've never seen, and I hate when people talk this way, so I'm very sorry. But my teeth were literally perfect. And I think through diet and eating the wrong foods, eventually the bottom teeth began to, the top are still straight, but the bottom began to cross a little bit as my wisdom teeth grew in. You should not have to ever pull your wisdom teeth. These are a part of your chewing teeth. And we just, like, our face shapes are terrible. Nora Gagatis years ago was talking about our primal bodies and the whole Weston Price dentist, and I'd been learning about this years ago. People are bringing it up a lot now because of the carnivore diet, but I read this stuff years ago, and it's really, really true how carbs can change your genetics as through epigenetics, but in a negative way, can change the shape of your face. Faces become too slim. We're very nutrient deficient, you guys. People take all these supplements, but they don't factor in, just because you see vitamin D's in the blood does not mean that your cells are uptaking it. If you have the classic symptoms of vitamin D deficiency, you need to see what's going on here. You can take as many IUs of vitamin D supplementation, and you have to factor in that this is chemically processed, so you can ingest it. Chemically processed. These are chemicals, right? Unless you're having something that's hydrolyzed and dried out and minimally processed. So I'm just really like, fix your gut wall, guys. There's holes in it. Things are leaking through. You're taking all these supplements. They don't really work. So I don't understand these people who do these particular diets and take supplements. They're like, I take this supplement and that supplement. I'm like, yeah, but do you got leaky gut? Because you got leaky guts in the toilet. And then there's the reaction to the chemical processing of it and the bioavailability, because our bodies are its own pharmacy. Like, it knows how to take food and, take it here and put it there. But when you start using with supplementation and pharmaceuticals, this is a problem. Is that true that periods stop when you do intense exercise? No. Your period stops when your body's under focus. There it goes. Your period stops when you, for a couple of varying reasons. Like, one, you skip meals, you are eating too little food for its sustenance and nutritional benefits. a lot of you guys don't sleep well and exercise too hard and not eat enough fat. So fat is cholesterol is a precursor to make your reproductive hormones, and women are afraid of eating fat, so they're eating like chicken breast and tuna and white rice, and their menstrual cycle stops doing a lot of that workout. But I could train intense, and my menstrual cycle's like ding, ding, because I'm ketotic. But then if I did that for too long intense training, at 51, it probably wouldn't make my ovaries too happy. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, guys, thank you for joining this podcast. It's time to go. And I thought of doing one tomorrow. I was like, nah, I'm gonna live stream my keto course. I don't want to double live stream. What do you recommend for breakfast? Oh, that's a long subject. Do nuts or cheese cause candida? Oh yeah, cheese is a mold. Candida is a mold. Nuts have mold on them. And they have phytates and all this stuff. Yes, of course it makes candida, y'all. Don't listen. You should literally, for women who've got freaking like yeast infections, go have a shite load of roasted nuts and watch your yeast just grow like crazy. People don't think. I don't know why. Look, I did a lot of things the wrong way because I was ill-informed. And then once one thing made sense, then I start like deconstructing everything I've been taught, including lifestyle, including ideologies of life, including whatever. You just reassess everything. And as you get older, like certain things just don't matter anymore. I watch these millennials in the gym. I say this all the time. They are so insecure. They're so insecure. They can't look at each other in the face. Their phones are in their face. And then they eat wrong. How are you doing, my love? Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, guys. So this is it. Thank you for joining the broadcast. And you know what, the live stream? Because you know what? I got some energy. Right? Right? I still got to keep that in. This is a mother-sucking business at 51, 10 years plus on keto. So if you go back to my videos, I'm like, I'm 45, I'm 46, I'm 47, I'm 48, I'm 49, I'm 50, 51. Boom! That's what's up. And you can watch my progression of knowledge and understanding, my maturity, and my anti-aging through all the videos. It's what is it? It is a documentation to prove that this stuff works. Thank you. Actually, I was talking to a guy today who's 27, and I was talking about my knee injury because I used to be a pro skateboarder. Yes, pro skateboarder. First African-American pro skateboarder. Proud of that. Very proud. And he was like, how long ago did you bust your knee? And I was like, all right, here we go. Here's the awkwardness of the conversation, just about to start. And I go, I did it 25 years ago. He's like, sorry? I was like, I busted my knee 25 years ago. He was just like, huh? I was like, it's like his brain refused to do the math on my age. He's like, was she 2 years old when she did this? And he's like, how old are you? And I was like, well, how old are you? This is today. He's like, I go, how old do you think I am? He goes, 30. And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just, you know, when I was younger, in my early 40s, because you're just so shocked that you're in your early 40s, like, oh my God, I'm so old now, that if people assumed you to be younger, you just let them assume it. But now I don't want to do that because it just feels like, nah, I'm not going to lie. This is who I am. Accept it or not. Yes, keto, actually fully adapting and changing your life along with keto will stop the aging process. It'll slow it down, maybe lengthen them telomeres. But I said, how do you think I am? He goes, 30. And I was like, no, that's a no. I said, well, honey, take 21 years and put it together 30. He still couldn't do the math. His brain refused to see me at the age. So he kept thinking I was saying, putting the two wrong numbers together. And he goes, it like literally. And I kept saying the same thing over and over again. I'm 21 years past 30. And he's like, you're not 51. I go, yes, I am. He's like, oh, shut up. I go, yes, I am. And he's like, oh my God. And here's where you're like, I don't want people to react like that, you know? I get it. I feel good. My love cup of doing a good job on my health is full. So I would prefer that he would just been like, damn, that's awesome. Which he did, but it's still this like, oh my God. And he said, I need a minute okay, to have that register, because you have a 27-year-old thinking he's talking to someone who's just a few years older than him, and in 2 seconds he feels like he's 13, because that's how they react. They feel like a full-grown man when they think I'm just a few years older. Then when they find out that I'm so much older, they feel like they're a little kid, and then it's an awkward conversation, and then until they get over it. Okay, see, there's no way you look 51. Don't blame the men for being shocked. It's because the conversation gets weird after that, right? And it's like, it's kind of fun to talk to a millennial in that sense, because you get to learn like what's going on today in their mentality. If I stay in a 50-year-old mentality, wake me up. Boring. Okay, so I need both. It's just like, I gotta be around all ethnicities. I don't want to be around just one. I really feel like I get a headache if I'm just around one ethnicity and I don't have diversity where I live. It's different when you travel. Then it's about learning about that cultural group. But people-wise, I need everybody to feel balanced. Could you be his mom? Yeah, I could be his mom. Isn't that a trip? I could totally be his mom. I could definitely be his mom. Get a stem cell injection. Yeah, I've thought about doing that, so I'm just waiting. I'm not waiting. Yeah, there's just some things I have to fix. You guys know I'm writing a book. There's so many things in my business that I have to fix. And in 2019, I will consider doing a stem cell thing, and maybe they'll knock off the price so I can do a video log on it. But I also, you guys, I need a put some lotion on my legs. Do I dare show my knee surgeries? No, I'm not going to. Kind of ashy, and no lotion on them. But I need a medial meniscus as well. So, I think that if I just had a medial meniscus cadaver replacement, I think that would take 85% of my pain down. I could go ahead and get stem cell injection, but I have absolutely zero medial meniscus. Most people have a partial meniscus tear. I had a full one, so the whole thing had to be taken away. And then I have the cartilage missing on the condyles of the bone, like most of it's gone. So you're missing cartilage, you're missing a meniscus. So where the meniscus is missing is where I have the most pain. So I feel like if that's replaced, that's going to take down the pain exponentially. And then I think the next step would be stem cell. And I think I should do a stem cell after I have a medial meniscus surgery. And I've put that off and put that off and put that off and put that off, because I know that after the 10 surgeries that I had and being on crutches for freaking nearly 4 years, I have an aversion to surgeries now because of having so many. But I'm digressing. I guess that's my story time. Normally, you guys, I try to go into stories so you guys can get an idea of who I really am and not this wrong perception on the internet. It's funny because I was talking to a friend and we leave WhatsApp messages, and I was trying to explain to him that you could be in a particular mood when you leave a message with someone, and it can sound more extreme than like how you feel 6 hours later. That's why communication between people is so critical, because the millennials text, which is already removed from any type of inflection or intonation or any type of emotion behind it. So there's that problem. And then if you use WhatsApp and leave messages, which is great, it's still misrepresented because it's not a live conversation. So I don't know where we're headed, guys. What do you say about lengthening your telomeres? I think that keto can help do that. Don't, because you're not having as much glycation. So your cells aren't dying at the rate that they would normally eating a bunch of garbage. Right? Your detoxification pathways, you're methylating, and you're breathing correctly, and you're oxygenating the cells, you're bringing nutrients to the cells, you're detoxifying junk, and you're sleeping well. And that could potentially give the body enough break time to maybe protect the telomeres from degrading, or maybe even lengthening your telomeres. I don't know. I think that I'm a really good experiment doing keto for over 10 years now, and having a video diary, and I don't think anybody has that on the internet. Somebody walking around, like Paul Chek used to say, if you can't go shirtless as a health coach, then don't be talking about getting healthy. You got to be able to be shirtless and let people see your health. I'm around your age, and we live with the answering machines. I know text quite well. And I remember living when there was no even answering machines, and the phones were rotary. You know what I watch online, you guys? I watch these videos of famous people from like the 70s and 80s, and then now, and there's this photographer who did like, he took pictures. I went to this photo exhibition, and he had taken like 20 pictures of people all like a similar face position, all like if they could get pictures almost every year, every 2 years, or I don't know how many years, but it was like very close back to back. And then he did that whole computer morphing, and it really makes you kind of sick to your stomach to watch, like some of your favorite stars. And like 1979 feels like 2 years ago to me. So you see somebody, or even 1983, you see somebody in the 80s, and then you see them now, you're like you're just watching the skin sag on their jowls, and everything droops, their lids droop, everything droops, everything's drooping, everything. And they look beat by life. They look beat. You know what I mean? They don't look fresh. They don't look fresh in the skin. They don't look healthy. I couldn't imagine eating the way I did before keto. I don't even know what I would look like if I did that. It's just a trip thinking about it. All right, guys, we're down at 76 people, and we have over 100 likes finally. So thank you so much for being a part of this live stream, and I really appreciate you guys out there. And I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to figure out a way for subjects that you guys, collective subjects that you guys want to know about, so I can keep upgrading my content. Yep, we're to go from being an 80s kid to the present feels like yesterday, right, Bill? Feels really weird. Like, I went to my 20-year, here I'm still talking, I went to my 20-year high school reunion, and I had lived in Europe, right? I left the country when I was 19, completely left, and lived in Europe until my mid-30s. So when a couple years later, went to my high school reunion at 38, I almost, like, passed out. It scares me because I'm so young here that I'm so saddened. It's a trip. It's just a trip to me that you could just miss out on so many things in life. Somebody was saying, oh, when you get older, you get tired. I'm like, I'm not tired. Let's go. Like, let's go. That's where I am. I'm not tired. I'm just getting started. And that's how you should feel when you hit 50. You should be like, okay, I've made a bunch of mistakes. Now it's time to do everything the right way. But people have no energy at that point. They've been beaten and kicked by life, and they're tired. They're physiologically tired. So that stuff freaks me out big time. You're an 80s kid too. Oh, I didn't know that, RTY Pepe. Cool. You're not that old, but you don't look, you're over 30. No, I'm middle-aged, so I'm old enough to not be 30. So if I talk to a 30-year-old and I'm 51, that jump between 30, smell my food, that jump between 30 and 50 is so exponential. Like, you are no longer a kid at 50. You're not considered a child. You're not considered in those days of learning about whatever. You're not in those adventure-seeking days. They're gone for most of society. They really and truly are gone. People have their families, and they have their jobs, and they have their this and their that. And so to live my life as if I'm 30 is a trip. It just is. It's just a trip. Only a few of you guys really understand what I'm talking about. So, again, I want to say thank you like 20 times. I have separation anxiety from my peeps out there that are so awesome. Because the 76 people here right now are not looky-loos. Most of them, they're actually real people. So thank you, all the people in the stream right now. Because once I go into story time, like, everybody drops off. They're like gone. They're like, I don't want to hear her talk about like real life. You're a 1983 kid here, born in 83. Child, you're still young, honey. Child, you need to be born in the 60s and 50s. I'm short and young, looking at 50. And people talk down to me. I didn't know that. See, Gins, it's so interesting. I should go and ask everybody's age the next stream, because I see Gins uncertain. I didn't, because like with your guys' profile, some of you don't have pictures, and I'll just see a name, but I'll see it all the time, and you sort of get a vibe of somebody's personality by the questions that they ask or the statements that they make. So then when people add their name or their age to their comments, everything starts making sense. You're born in 65. Oh, so Irish woman, 40. She's older than me. So I'm getting schooled. And so I get a lot of people my age demo, you know, which I think at first was kind of bothering me because I wanted everybody, but now I'm really loving it because I can talk to you guys real talk and connect. New sub here from Scotland. Oh, 40 in a few days. There you go. Kexi. Why am I getting some Scottish people? And I just love Scotland. Years ago, I went and did a skate show in the Highlands with Tony Hawk. Years and years and years and years ago. And I always wanted to get back to Scotland, and I never got back there. All right. Next summer, I'm going to do a full European tour, without a doubt. I'm doing the UK. I'm going to Croatia. I'm going to freaking Poland. I'm going to go to Greece and to Italy and Prague. And next summer. I wanted to do this summer, but I couldn't make it. Next summer, I'm coming to Scotland. I'm coming to Scotland next freaking summer. Enough of this. All right, guys. I always say that. All right, guys. All right, guys. It's like for the lack of not knowing what to say more. Went to Italy in May. Right? Love Italy, Rob. I've watched all these videos and wonderful info you share with us, but the story time is so inspiring. Oh, and often motivating. Yes, come to Greece. Oh, are you in Greece, Manuel? Or are you just saying I should go to Greece? I really like that you guys don't mind me going to story time because I feel like if I'm just talking about keto, it kind of gets redundant and repetitive. Maybe not to the new people, but it does to me in my head. It's like being a singer and singing the same song all the time. Okay, Euro tour. Yes, I'm definitely going to Euro tour. 1966 here, rocking keto since August 10th. My abs got cut in the first week and feel like my real self has been released. See, Frank, is it Frank? Freak. Oh, so Freak Syndicate. That's so awesome. You need to get some time with, what? Appreciate you. Did keto in Venice. Venice, Italy, or Venice, LA? Oh, you're Greek. Woke up too early. Oh, you're so funny. You definitely woke up too early. It's the middle of the night there. What time is it now? It's like 3 in the morning or something. What got me started on keto? My mom had cancer, deadly, glioblastoma. She had a glioblastoma. It's the most aggressive brain tumor that you could have. Like pretty much, like less than 1% of people survive it. And I was trying to Google anything I could to stop cancer growth or regrowth, and that's how I found it. I mean, I knew about it before, but it's weird how I knew about it before and people have not heard about it now. I'm one of those weirdos that kind of remembers hearing about things. So when it's reintroduced to me, I'm like, when I started researching keto, and I would just binge everything I could, and there was no information on keto. And now people are like, oh, have you seen Thomas DeLauer, and have you seen this person, and keto, what's his name, Savage Keto, and I was like, no, I haven't seen these people, because they just shot up. I've been doing this for so long. Yeah. Nothing against them, though. I don't even know them. So 4 a.m. here, still working on my circadian rhythm. Oh, you so got to, Manuel. Manuel. Okay, 76, yo. Oh, that's what's up, Marilyn. 76. Can't wait. That's awesome. Sorry to hear about my mom. No, she's still alive, David. She's still alive. Mama's still alive. Mind you, she did have chemo. She did have radiation therapy, and it ruined her. Like, it literally destroyed her. It was horrible. She got dark circles under her eyes. Her hair's still not growing back on this part of the brain. Her skin was tight and perfect, and it just sagged. She aged, I'm not even lying. My mom aged probably about 18 years. 18 to 20 years post-radiation. It's really sad. Super sad. But, you know, you live and you learn. My mom came from a generation when all those toxins were brought into society, like Crisco. My mom made fried chicken with Crisco all the time. And the restaurant in Greece. I'm going next month. Oh, that's so cute. I've been to Greece twice, but it's been a long time. Yeah, it's the doctors are like, because my brother and I were like, okay, she's gonna die. That's it. You know, maybe she can squeeze out 6 months of life, but more like 3. She's still alive. And I have to remind her of this because it was so long ago that she survived this super hardcore deadly cancer. And I have to remind her of that because she forgets that she should be dead. Like, she should not be alive. It's like, wait, what? We are studying and experimenting with keto before it was cool. Right, Bill? That's right, Bill. You've been around for a while. You've been on my Facebook. Doing keto make cancer free. No, it's not a like, keto makes you cancer free. No. It's how you do it. And that's 2,000 videos deep. Like, I'm even talking about like not eating like super cooked meat because it gets stuck in your colon. And when you have cancer, you got to poop. People ask me this question. I'm like, this question. Now, if I had kids, I would look exactly the same. Because I got a few friends who've had kids who are like, tight as a drum. I'll tell you this. It would be an embarrassment for me to have children, although they would be grown now. But how could I hide kids living in this shoebox? I would be the master hider to hide children that I've had. No, I've never had children. My brother's mom died of breast cancer 28 years ago. No, at 28 old. That's another sad story. Super sad. All right, let me see if you want to go somewhere different to Madagascar. My sister works there. Amazing person. Dr. Pat Wright. Check her out. Go to my website, Ted, and inbox me that info through the contact page. If you don't mind. Can't imagine you eating fried chicken. I ate everything. I ate cereal. My brother and I were sugar-aholics. We would put sugar on sugar cereal. Like, no joke. We ate Wonder Bread, the Oreo cookies, and Chips Ahoy cookies, and Reese's Cups were my favorite type of chocolate type of thing. I ate honeycomb, and I ate Apple Jacks, and then I thought I was healthy by eating cornflakes, and then I switched to like a granola cereal, and I loved Raisin Bran, and you could literally see the sugar on Raisin Bran. And when I was po, I would eat Top Ramen like nobody's business, and go to the supermarket and get that type of spaghetti sauce that has sugar in it and fructose and garbage and preservatives, ragu. I would take antibiotics if I had a flu. I have no words for the stupid things that I've done to my health by being misinformed. You missed the whole thing, pal. You did. You missed the whole thing. Not the whole thing, because you were able to say, what's up, pal? You are so active on that keto course group. I'm always like, I better go and get on what's Powell's next commentary. I've been there, top ramen every day, right? MKKG? Used to love this cereal reminder. Yo, I would eat cereal for dinner all the time. I was addicted to milk, and I was gassy and bloated all the time. I didn't care. I was like, when I went to Egypt, I brought milk powdered with me so I could make cereal there. I brought dried cereal in a Ziploc bag and powdered milk to Egypt. Like, stupid. I would only eat, meat and hated vegetables and cheese as a child, but drink Coke, right? Mara, right? Grew up on antibiotics, avoided fat since, right? 8th grade, trying to lose weight on and off, so malnourished totally. Malnourished and deprived in my teens, at least. I discovered keto now. In your 20s, you're so lucky. I'm jealous. Like, I wish I knew about keto in my 20s. I'd be on that. I wish I knew about this stuff before. There's a lot of stupid things I could have avoided. I didn't know. I didn't know about food quality. I didn't know about vegetables having anti-nutrients. I didn't understand gut motility and gut flora. I didn't understand blood sugar. I didn't understand nothing. Nothing. This is horrible. I'm 17 and started keto this year. Used to weigh 186 pounds. Now I weigh 146. Seb, must be a guy. Again, Seb, you're so lucky. I'm super jelly. I wish I knew this stuff. Although I wouldn't want to be 17 again today. That's past. Me during college. Jude says, wow, who knew Stephanie was human? You're still my superhero. Of course I'm human. I'm so human. Yeah, I've done a lot of stupid things. And I'm a pretty smart girl, you know? But when you're giving, like, stupid material, stupid is, stupid does, and you don't know any difference. It's like my mom developing cancer. You know, she smoked when she was young, and when we ate Crisco, like, she would go and put Crisco on a pan and pour it back into a mason jar, because if she made chicken or something, it would have the flavor. So here you have this freaking trans fat artery clogging, hardening of your arteries, and she would recook it over and over and over and over and over again for flavor. Is fasting the same for men and women? It's a little different. It's in some ways it's the same, but a lot of women are estrogen dominant. A lot of women have thyroid issues, so those things freak out on fasting. Men may not have a propensity to have a thyroid, they have adrenal. They don't have a thyroid or gallbladder. Estrogen dominance. Wish I knew about the surgery crisis. Oh. Doctors have cut into you for no reason. They don't know. Don't even get me started on that stuff. Hi, Steph. Still carnivore, keto, and feeling amazing. All right, Jackie. I would start to cook your meats not so much if you want to feel even better. Okay, I'm trying to build muscle now, struggling, though maybe because I'm still young. No, I don't know. And it's not because you're still young. It's hormones. Like, you're born into a lot of toxins. Like, there's more pesticide strength than when I was young. I think when I was born, I think that there's the meat was still grass-fed. Maybe the last year I was born. Break down your macros. And Pal, it's not just the macros. It's the young person's lifestyle. You know, it's a bunch of stuff. There's not like clear-cut, defined lines and why somebody can't get a muscle gain. There could be gut issues. There could be high estrogen. We don't know his weight. We don't know his activity. We don't know his food schedule. We don't know the types of foods he's eating. Culturally, what he is. What do you eat? What do you eat when you feel like eating everything prior to that time of the month? I don't have that anymore, Christine. I don't have that. You know, you just stick to your keto macros. It's not like you're going to eat something special right before your cycle. Saving Crisco on the stove. That's good. Not only is it hood, it's just the sign of the times and the era I was born. That's just what they did because they were stupid. 200 grams of fat, 110 protein's too high. That's why. Zeb, your protein's weight, that's not ketotic. 30 grams of carbs. No. 5'11", weigh 150-ish. Yeah, your protein's way too high. You need to drop that down to like 75, 80. He's only 17, yes. But I don't even know what you look like. Like up the stream. Jackie says, like up the stream, guys. For those 77, if anybody in there has not liked up the stream, it would be awesome if you liked up the stream. Okay, I told myself I wasn't going to go over an hour. Y'all tricked me. Y'all tricked me. Hal is right. It's always about more fat than it is protein. All right, guys, time for me to go. I said that, I don't know, I think I said it an hour ago and I forgot that I said it. I said it at 6 o'clock because I remember thinking it was 6 o'clock. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining the stream. This is the Mother Sucking Business. right? At 51. I'm counting. Okay, going to bed. Good night. Good night. That's what I used to say in my old videos. Some people liked it, some people hated it, but it is muscle business. Peace out, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm out. I'm out. I'm really out this time. Bink.